Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare.
Hare Krishna, good morning, my dear Prabhus, dear Matajis. Thank you for joining our morning japa session. Again, that is 5:30 to 7 o'clock in the morning, and followed by Srimad Bhagavatam study, our Mock in the Middle podcast. And nakalaan mo yun, 99th episode na natin ngayon. Bukas 100 na. Hindi pa rin tayo nauubusan ng good news from the Srimad Bhagavatam. And just before we start, I just want to announce yung mga schedules natin every evening, because this will be the part 2, continuation of part 2 of the meditation and yoga philosophy. We are focusing much more on the meditation every Monday to Wednesday. That will be Monday, deeper meditation, deeper understanding on meditation. We will be discussing the 10 offenses to be avoided while chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, for us to elevate our offensive chanting to the taste of chanting, Namaparad to Namabas. So we will have japa session every evening, pero deeper understanding and deeper discussion. So understanding and application. Every Monday, that will be none other than your most insignificant servant, me. And every Tuesday, it will be with Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Giridhari Swami Maharaj. We will be reciting the Bhagavad Gita verses, the Sanskrit and the translation. Sobrang powerful na ito. Recitation per chapter with association. This Tuesday will be Guru Maharaj who will read the Sanskrit and the English. And next Tuesdays, we'll have a roster of readers that will read the English translation. But he will always read the Sanskrit translation. So that's Tuesday. So bring your Bhagavad Gita with you. And every Wednesday, it will be by Radhanath Prabhu. He will have, if napanood niyo yung Kirtan ni Radhanath Prabhu, he will have the Kirtan mellows. We will be going deeper in meditation, having Sankirtan. So, just a trivia, si Radhanath Prabhu ang aking one of my favorite kirtanier. Pero low-key lang yun. Ayaw lang niya, hindi siya madalas kumakanta pag may mga kirtan. Gusto niya behind the scenes siya. And every that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Every Thursday and Friday will be a deeper understanding of the yoga philosophy. It will be on the level 2 or intermediate study. It will be a deeper study. By Thursday will be by Sridham Prabhu, discussing the devotee's lifestyle. Yung Friday natin will be by His Grace Maturanath Prabhu. He will be discussing Vaishnav etiquette, how one could practice Bhakti Yoga and how to deal with others. And it will be a great application on how we will deal with the rest of the world. So that's Monday to Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. So kulong na kayo. Morning 7 to 8, saka evening 7 to 8 then. So, spiritual sandwich. I will post the poster and also the registration sa group chats natin. And we will create another group chat. And if you're not yet a member of the Facebook group Braj Bhakti Community, please let me know. Because in the future, it will be the hub ng mga translation, ng notification, ng mga question and answer, yung mga frequently asked questions, lalagay din natin doon. And other discussion sa group na yun. So before we start, let's be in the right mood, in the mood of request, in the mood of humility. So join me as we recite the invocation mantras. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasvatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamas Loke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. I offer my obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the Personality of Godhead, Narayan, unto Nara Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the Personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So, nakaraan, it was King Pariksit talking to the sages in the banks or the shore ng River Ganges. This is the preparation of his fasting till death. Hirap na, diba? Kung merong mga gumagawa ng intermittent fasting, yung mga intermittent fasting ninyo, siya fasting till death. Actually, a yogi is preparing for death palagi. And he doesn't want to waste any time. He wants to use every tidbits of his seconds of his remaining life in preparation for the next life. Di ba pag yung tao mamamatay na, gagawin ko na lahat na sa bucket list ko. Yung iba doon, mga, of course, sense gratification. Tapos yung mga just going to some places or experiencing things like this. If napanood niyo yung Bucket List na movie ni Morgan Freeman, ganoon din yung ginawa nila. Of course, there are lessons with the relationships, forgiveness, repentance, but a saintly person knows how to really use the time, especially if he knows namamatay na siya. Si Maharaj Pariksit, he is a pure devotee, but of course, he seeks shelter sa mga saintly person. Tinanong niya ano yung duty ng mga tao while he's living, they're living, and what is the duty of a person who knows that he will die anytime soon. These two duties. And that is actually the Srimad Bhagavatam. Knowing the duty how to live, knowing the duty how to die. And in this situation, given sa title natin, the appearance of Sukadeva Goswami. Continue reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam Creation, chapter 19, the appearance of Sukadeva Goswami. We will read starting on anong chapter ba tayo? Anong text ba tayo? We stopped 24th. We will start to read 25th. Translation. At that moment, there appeared the powerful son of Vyasadeva, who traveled over the earth, disinterested and satisfied with himself. Give me a sec. He did not manifest any symptoms of belonging to any social order or status of life. He was surrounded with women and children, and he dressed as if others had neglected him. So, in the banks of the river Ganges, or Yamuna, there Maharaj Pariksit is talking to the sages, kings, their disciples, and even the demigods. They know by Krishna's arrangement that Srimad Bhagavatam will be spoken there in preparation for King Pariksit. King Parikshit's death very soon, after 7 days. So habang dumadating yung mga tao, Maharaj Pariksit is receiving this powerful personalities in the right mood and also in humility. And now, dumating na si Sukadev Goswami. Sukadev Goswami is the son of Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is also an incarnation of Krishna. Actually, ang daming andoon na saintly person and at the same time, considered as incarnation ni Krishna in different avatars. So, dumating si Sukadev Goswami. It was described here kung ano yung ginagawa ni Sukadev Goswami. He is disinterested sa buong mundo, sa social orders and all. Actually, nakahubad lang siya. And that's satisfied with himself. Bakit siya satisfied with himself? Because he is always Krishna conscious. So, hindi porket satisfied ka within yourself, lalakad ka na sa labas na nakahubad. So, we don't imitate this kind of saintly person. And he doesn't belong to any social order or status of life. At the same time, he is even surrounded by women and children. Even nakubad siya, surrounded siya ng women. Hindi siya attracted. Hindi siya kasama dun sa mga na-attract sa lust. He is traveling to just give Krishna consciousness everywhere. In India, pag pumunta ka rito, may maraming mga mendicants na nagagala pa rin doon. We don't need to judge them. Some of them are true, some of them are trying to, some of them are fake. But we wouldn't know, actually, unless one is on that pure devotional state. If one is on that first class, pure devotional or Uttama Adhikari stage, one would know who is the other Uttama Adhikari. But for neophyte like me, I will just see the outer covering. So that's the practice. We pay respects to everyone. We don't know kung demigods yung nakikita mo in dress ng isang beggar or mga saintly person, sila Vasista Muni na yun, sila Bhishmamitra. They're like living their long lives and also traveling through time and space. Text number 26. Madami pala tayong babasahin nga. This son of Vyasadeva was only 16 years old. His legs, hands, thighs, arms, shoulders, forehead, and other parts of his body were all delicately formed. His eyes were beautifully wide, and his nose and ears were highly raised. He had a very attractive face, and his neck was well formed and beautiful like a conch shell. So, grabe yung details, di ba? A respectable personality is described beginning with legs, and this honored system is observed here with Sukadev Goswami. So, we always describe, even Krishna, lotus feet and all, lagi sa legs pataas. That's also how we have darshan. Pag may nakikita tayong picture or deities ni Krishna, he always start with the lotus feet going up sa face. That is a way of great honor. He was only 16 years of age. A person is honored for his achievements and not for advanced age. A person can be older by experience and not by age. So, it is true. Maturity comes with experience, character, and not by age. Hindi porket matanda na yung tao, mature na siya. We would see a lot of people are having immature acts, diba? They are having very nice cars, very respectable coat and tie, diba? Stature in life, position. Tapos nagkagit-kita na sa traffic, nag-aaway na sa labas. Nagkabarilan pa sila. Same. It doesn't comes with age. It doesn't comes with the outer covering of a person. Maturity comes with experience. Ako, may mga nakakausap ako ng mga gurukulis or mga batang gurukuls or much more younger devotees by age. They speak, think, and act as if sobrang tagal na nilang devotee or mas matanda sila sa. So there are a lot of devotees who are like this. So Sukadev Goswami also, 16 years old, imagine, teenager. Ano ginagawa natin ng 16 years old tayo? But nung dumating si Sukadev Goswami, even si Pariksit Maharaj, an emperor. Emperor na siya nung pinanganak si Sukadev Goswami. Pero they bow down, pay all their respects. And yes, he has a lot of beautiful features sa body nila. May tinatawag ng physiognomy. We have also like the Vedic, like kung may palm reading, meron din sa katawan. Lumalabas based on our pious or impious activities. Much more, yung mga saintly person, they have like common like lotus eyes, laging ganun eh. Long arms, broad shoulders, tapos well-formed chest, yung neck nila parang conch shell. Text number 27. His collarbone was fleshy, his chest broad and thick, his navel deep, and his abdomen beautifully striped. His arms were long, and curly hair was strewn over his beautiful face. He was naked, and the hue of his body reflected that of Lord Krishna. So this is an uncommon symptoms sa mga personalities. So that's why knowing, just seeing those who have the vision, just seeing this kind of personality, they would know that this is not normal. It's very special. According to physiognomical calculation. So, di ba may astrological calculation? Meron din sa body. You would see in the face, you would see in the features. His bodily hue resembled that of Lord Krishna, who is the supreme among the gods, demigods, and all living beings. So, medyo kulay, siya, bluish, blackish din yung color ni Sukadev Goswami. Ayan, discuss pala rito. Let's read 28. He was blackish and very beautiful due to his youth, because of the glamour of his body and his attractive smiles. He was pleasing to women, though he tried to cover his natural glories. The great sages present there were all expert in the art of physiognomy. And so they honored him by rising from their seats. So these sages are much more older than Sukadev Goswami by age. And even the demigods were there. May mga hindi tumayo. Pero you could see, pag may important visitors in an event, people will stand up in honor. Some will bow down, some will stand up. It will depend on the relationship. Matutunan natin yan sa Vaishnava etiquette. How to deal with the juniors, how to deal with the seniors, how to deal with the equals. Having this etiquette is just like having an ornament. Ito yung sobrang importante, ornament of a devotee. In the material world, a lot of people just move according to the culture or tradition. May magbow down na ganon, may magmano, may upo and opo. Then sa ibang places, they call their parents their parents in their first name, walang endearment. So iba-ibang mixed culture. Actually, our beloved country, Philippines, is also a mixed culture with different influences ng mga nag-colonize sa atin. We have traces ng mga Spaniards, the manana, the siesta, the ocean of emotion. We have the Japanese, we have the Chinese, we have, of course, American. Very greatly influenced ba tayo ng America. Sa lifestyle. Pero sa work ethics, andun tayo sa yung influence ng Philippines, dala ng Spaniards. Diba? Text number 30. So yes, kaya ako kunento yon kasi sobrang importante having this etiquette of a Vaishnava, of a devotee. will be discussed by Mathuranath Prabhu and Sridham Prabhu. How to really act accordingly. Not just by doing the sadhana, paano tayo mag-act. Yung how to build our character. And character is personality, and image is the one na nakikita ng tao. The character kapag wala ng tao doon, or by great pressure, lumalabas yung totoong character. So we have to build it up. Good foundation. Text number 29. Maharaj Pariksit, who is also known as Vishnurata, if you could remember, one who is always protected by Vishnu, bowed his head to receive the chief guest, Sukadev Goswami. At that time, all the ignorant women and boys ceased following Srila Sukadev. Receiving respect from all, Sukadev Goswami took his exalted seat. So yung mga associates ni Sukadev Goswami, it was mentioned, ignorant women and boys, they are naive. They just follow this saintly person everywhere they go. And they also receive great respects kasi kasama sila nung parang entourage sila ni Sukadev Goswami. Then, Maharaj Pariksit, if you would remember yung Vishnu Rata, he was named as Vishnu Rata because from the womb ng mother niya, si Mother Uttara, si Ashvatam released yung Brahmastra, or like a nuclear weapon. But he was protected by Lord Vishnu from within. So, he was protected from the womb. So, si Ashvatthama gusto siyang i-abort. But no, si Vishnu, si Lord Kshirodakasha Vishnu, or the Super Soul, protected him in the womb. Kaya siya tinatawag na Vishnu Rata. He bowed down his head to receive the chief guest. And, of course, they offered the high seat kay Sukadev Goswami. Although, yung mga pagdating sa Sukadev Goswami doon, may different exchanges. Yung iba, nag-shake ng hands, yung iba tumayo, nag-nod, yung iba nag-bow down, yung iba niyakap siya, in different relationships. Pero of course, si Narada Muni, saka si Vyasadeva, yung father niya, did not stand up. Siya yung lumalapit, si Sukadev Goswami. Just like when Krishna arrived or was leaving Hastinapur, he will bow down to King Yudhishthir. Then yayakapin niya na sila Arjuna. Tapos yung sila Sahadeva and Nakula, mag-bow down. Depende sa age and relationship nila. So that will determine sino yung mga senior devotees. Advancement in spirituality, advancement in age, advancement in if a devotee have a position, then one will know that he is a senior. So minsan mix up. One is younger than age, pero may position siya. And also, he's advanced spiritually. So, he's considered as a senior. Pero syempre, yung tao na yun, if may kausap siyang mas matanda by age, full respect pa rin siya ng todo. Mag-bow down pa rin siya. So, some details will be discussed sa Vaishnava etiquette and devotee's lifestyle. So, yes, full of gravity and calm yung naging atmosphere. Very grave nung dumating na si Sukadev Goswami. It is the start. And the real conversation will happen. I mean, it's all real. But the main event. Text number 30. Sukadev Goswami was then surrounded by saintly sages and demigods, just as the moon is surrounded by stars, planets, and other heavenly bodies. His presence was gorgeous, and he was respected by all. So, si Sukadev Goswami was not considered as Raja Rishi, hindi siya saintly kings or Brahma Rishi. He is actually a very simple saint. A very simple, very humble, but very learned. But, of course, he also excelled yung mga great personalities like Narada, Vyasadeva, and even sila mga mga incarnation ni Krishna. Si Narada Muni, mga empowered incarnation yan. Hindi sila direct, empowered incarnation. Sila Vyasadeva. Even Parasuram was there. Other older devotees. Pero si Sukadev Goswami older by experience, advanced spiritually, is considered senior as them. So, this means, according to Sri Prabhupada, that the devotee of the Lord is more honored in the world than the Lord Himself. Mas gusto ka ni Krishna na in-honor yung devotees niya than sa Kanya. Kaya tayo, we are the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. Gusto ni Krishna na mas mag-glorify yung mga devotees niya. Just like a father, mas gusto niya nag-excel yung anak niya sa Kanya. Hindi niya competition yun. Like kung magaling in sports yung father, yung anak niya, tuturuan niya na para mas gumaling pa kaysa sa Kanya. And all the credit he will give to the son. Same with Krishna. He always wants his devotees to be glorified, to excel more than him. Even si Arjuna, di ba? Pwede naman siya pumatay talaga lahat sa battlefield eh. One click nga lang tapos na yun eh. But he wants the Pandavas, Arjuna, to be glorified. And sometimes the devotees are put into situation na parang ang hirap. It's just to glorify yung characteristic ng devotee na yun. One should therefore never minimize the importance of a devotee like Sukadeva Goswami. Hindi porket may nakita tayong devotee, hindi siya parang hindi pa siya parang bago pa lang siya and all, or onti pa lang alam niya. We should not minimize their position as a devotee. We don't know. Malay mo, madalas sa kanila tinutuloy na lang yung mga Krishna consciousness from previous lives. Then makikita mo sila bubulusok sila with advancement. So, the moral lesson is we should always respect everyone in high regards. Text number 31. The sage Sri Sukadeva Goswami sat perfectly pacified, intelligent and ready to answer any question without hesitation. The great devotee Maharaj Pariksit approached him, offered his respects by bowing before him, and politely inquired with sweet words and folded hands. That's how we approach a spiritual master. We must think of that sweet words, not just for flattering, pero how to use the art of eloquency, of eloquent speaking, using the right terminologies, using the right composition of words, the content of it. And of course, the intention should be there. With the gesture then lower than the spiritual master. If he's sitting in the chair, sit in the floor. Of course, depende kung kaya ng ng kasukasuhan ng mga older devotees. But you can sit on the floor. Lower, make sure you're lower. Folded hands in pranams, and in the right tone of voice and all, with all due respect, politely. So Maharaj Pariksit, even an emperor is doing this. Even Arjuna, you could see the picture. When nag-surrender siya kay Krishna, he became lower. They bow down, of course, first, and they bow down after. Now, syempre may COVID, like hindi basta-basta makapag-bow down, especially sa temple. At least, they bow down from the heart. Ano yung sinasabi kapag nag-bow down? We recite the invocation mantras. You have for the acharyas, for Srila Prabhupada, the Nama Om and Namaste, that's continuous. And if you have the spiritual master, we should chant the invocation mantra for that spiritual master. Just like in Nama Om, you will just change Swami Bhaktivedanta, Swami Nitinamine, Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine. He will change to like so-and-so Swami Nitinamine. So, ayun yun, nire-recite ka pa nag-bow down. Pranam sa the Guru and the Acharya Sri Prabhupada. Yung iba mas mahaba yung sa pranam sa Guru. So, you could ask your senior, God brothers, if you also aspire, you could start to chant. The gesture now adopted by Maharaj Pariksit of questioning a master is quite befitting in terms of spiritual injunctions. So yes, importante yung Guru, Sadhu, and Sastra, and even this, bowing down, becoming lower, and in the right mood in inquiring from the spiritual master. This is scriptures yun. It is being done by even Krishna himself when he was talking to Sandipana Muni. Lord Chaitanya was talking to Ishvara Puri, even Maharaj Pariksit talking to Sukadev Goswami. But if one is not in this mood, or is not gonna inquire from a spiritual master regarding these spiritual activities, just want to talk petty talks, or just gonna get blessings for material things without any relationship with devotional service, it's not actually it's actually improper. So that is actually the real approach, reason for approach to the guru. One who does not know how to put questions before the spiritual master has no business seeing him. So there's an art. So if you want to email or talk to the spiritual master, you could talk first to the senior devotees, or sometimes seek advice, or send your letter, your email, to seek proofread the not just the grammar, but of course the mood. That's much more important. The mood in talking to the spiritual master. Of course, even in our senior devotees or equals, we should not be like in that challenging mood or in the debate mood. Should be humble. So here, the qualification of spiritual master and the guru and the disciple manifested in both of them, Sukadev Goswami and Maharaj Pariksit. And both of them actually will have the perfection of their life because of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So it is not just the hearer who will have the benefit of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Even the speaker of the Srimad Bhagavatam will have a lot of spiritual benefit. So two-way, speaking about Srimad Bhagavatam and hearing about Srimad Bhagavatam, one attain perfections. Yeah, both the master and the disciple got salvation because of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Text number 32, the fortunate King Pariksit said, O Brahmana, by your mercy only, you have sanctified us, making us like unto places of pilgrimage. All but your presence, here as my guests. By your mercy, we, who are but unworthy royalty, become eligible to serve the devotee. So yes, even those who are in the royal order, hindi sila basta-basta ina-associate ng mga saintly persons. Kasi kadalasan, siyempre iba yung panahon na neto, pero kadalasan hanggang ngayon, much more ngayon pala in the future, they're addicted to money, gold, and prostitution or women. So these leaders, even they're in that royalty, the saintly person doesn't associate with them. The worldly enjoyers and women. But generally, this saintly person doesn't approach this unless one is a devotee of Krishna. That's why we are promoting saintly kings, Raja Rishis, or saintly leaders. That is the greatest characteristic of a leader. He is grounded spiritually. Some leaders just have charms, influence to manipulate also material things. But a lot of people can do that. But if a leader could lead you materially, much more spiritually, he is a perfect leader. And sabi ni Pariksit Maharaj dito, only by the mercy ni Sukadev Goswami na sila, yung mga in royalty, could perform devotional service. And this saintly person, they visit houses in different places. Yung mga homes ng mga devotees, they visit. Not for them to gain something or whatsoever. The main reason sila nag-visit is to share Krishna consciousness. And the result, na-sanctified yung mga tao, even the house. Na-satisfied. Lalo-lalo na kapag na-receive yung devotees na mag-visit. Na-receive siya as in a Vaishnav etiquette way of receiving guests. Dito nga sabi is, yung mga places of pilgrimage where people like Ganges River, where people take a bath to remove their sins. Actually, sobrang daming scenes around the Ganges River and that places. And tuwan-tuwa yung mga holy places when pure devotees comes there. Because the place will be sanctified. So much importante to receive, to visit a saintly person and hear from them. Much more important daw to go to saintly places or holy places. Because even in these holy places, ang gems and essence nito is dun tumitira yung mga saints, sages, and sadhus, mga pure devotees. But there's a lot of pure devotee, like our sannyasis. They travel extensively. For what? To save other souls. To go in different places. Just by their presence, that place is sanctified. Kaya ang sarap ng feeling, di ba? Even just talking or listening to the lectures sa Zoom ng mga like mga sannyasis, mga pre-devotees, senior devotees. Ay iba sa pakiramdam natin. We feel sanctified. What more kapag nakasama natin sila? We are serving them physically and all. So, it's different. Kung ako, napapansin ko when I talk to senior devotees or attend their classes or I meet them. Grabe. So, we should know how to receive them properly, accordingly. Text number 33. Simply by our remembering you, our houses become instantly sanctified. And what to speak of seeing you, touching you, washing your lotus holy feet, and offering you a seat in our home. So this is a way how to serve mga saintly guests natin or alam mo yun, na-meet na saintly person, advanced spiritually. Sabi nga doon, simply by remembering, if you always remember great devotees like Srila Prabhupada, it sanctifies the home of the soul, the body. What more if we try to serve him? Serve his instructions is much more important than serving the body. Of course, important to serve the body of the guru, senior devotees. But much more important than that is serving the instructions. The Vani and Vapu. Vani is the word. The instructions by words. If one dedicate their lives in the words of the Guru, one will have direction, meaning, and the perfection of it. The importance of holy places of pilgrimage is due to the presence of great sages and saints. It is said that sinful persons go to the holy place and leave their sins there to accumulate. Iniwanan doon, di ba? Pero kaya nga sobrang importante because there are saintly persons there. But the presence of great saints disinfects the accumulated sins, and thus the holy place continue to remain sanctified by the grace of the devotee and saints present there. So if the saint actually appears in the home of a worldly people, certainly accumulated sins in such worldly enjoyers become neutralized. Kaya yung mga ibang, not all saint person could visit homes, pero iba yun yung goal nila to visit different places. But they don't stay for long. And of course, yung iba na alam to, they always invite saintly persons sa bahay nila. It sanctifies or it neutralizes just by the presence ng devotees. Ganun ka-importante yun. So we must always take advantage of their presence, lalong-lalo na yung mga Prabhupada disciples. They are old now by age. After a few years, we will not have their physical presence. So the moral of the story, the lesson is, now is the time to always associate with them. So we would have like an investment in their relationship with Srila Prabhupada. So we could also pass it down to others. And relish. Text number 34. Just as the atheist cannot remain in the presence of the personality of Godhead, so also the invulnerable sins of man are immediately vanquished in your presence, O Saint, O great mystic. So an analogy was given here. An atheist person cannot remain in the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Or even the devotees. They are afraid. Even hindi pa nagkasalita yung devotees. What more to have debate or talk to them? More than more likely they will be converted to become a theist or a personalist. Invulnerable scenes of man are immediately vanquished just by the presence of a saintly person like Sukadev Goswami. What a cleansing, no? Hindi mo na kailangan maggawa ng mga sages. Just invite a saintly person in your homes. Neutralize lahat. Kung may crystals ka, neutralize lahat yung mga crystals mo. Even your core of your heart. Invite and serve pure devotees. Serve their instructions. So, sobrang importante yun. The demons are always busy in trying to vanquish the personality of Godhead, but faculty, as soon as the personality of Godhead appears, by either his transcendental name, form, attributes, pastimes, parapernalia, or variegatedness, the demon is at once vanquished. So even the name, kaya unang-una yun, the name of Krishna. So that's why we chant everywhere. Sankirtan is there. So we make Krishna appear everywhere. In your own little creative way, we should spread Krishna, like even in social media. His words, like the Bhagavad Gita, his books, his image, and his names should be there, should be spread. To associate only with saintly devotees, so that the worldly demons and ghosts cannot exert their sinister influence. So if you feel something strange, chant the holy name. Hindi Ghostbuster. The real Ghostbuster is Krishna. Kasi automatic, aalis sila. They cannot stand. Unless yung ghost na yun, magiging devoted din kasi nakarinig siya ng holy name. Yan, maraming story nun, preaching to the ghost. Text number 35. Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is very dear to the sons of King Pandu. Ito yung mga Pandavas. Has accepted me as one of those relatives just to please his great cousins and brothers. So yes, he's very humble. Kasi Krishna, in-accept ako as his relative. Relative naman talaga kasi sila. Pero to be on that arrangement na tito niya si Krishna, second degree, he's very fortunate. A pure and exclusive devotee of the Lord serves his family interests more dexterously than others who are attached to illusory family affairs. So they still serve Krishna, they still serve their relatives. It is not just false renunciation, but they know they're doing that accordingly in Krishna consciousness. Actually, even hindi sila mag-serve directly. Just like Prahlad Maharaj. He's a pure devotee pero yung tatay niya si Hiranyakashipu, yung demon na pinatay ni Lord Nrsimhadev. But even sobrang demonyak ni Hiranyakashipu, si Prahlad Maharaj, being a pure devotee, na-liberate yung forefathers niya, yung father niya mismo. What more pa yung mga descendant niya sa ancestor niya. That is the promise, assurance of Krishna. So the Lord is so kind that He gives all protection to the family members of His devotees. May insurance. And thus the devotee has no need to bother about his family members. And even if one leaves such family members aside to discharge devotional service. Because if one is performing devotional service, he doesn't have any responsibility to the nation, to the government, to the family. Of course, you have to pay your tax if you're working. But you have to follow the law. Pero hindi yung priority mo. Because Krishna will automatically take care of them. Just like when one is driving an ambulance in an emergency situation, yung mga beating the red light na kailangan niyang gawin, or kaya dadaan siya sa one-way, magka-counterflow siya, is null. Hindi siya seen, hindi siya against the law. Kasi much more important yung ginagawa niya. Same thing with the devotee. The urgency to spread Krishna is there. It is an emergency situation. A lot of people need it. They're drowning kasi in the ocean of illusion. So, yung lifeguard nila is yung mga devotees. So, si Krishna, with his insurance, secured yung family members ng isang devotee. We might not see it physically, pero automatically, their souls will be put into a better place in this lifetime or next lifetimes. Even si Hiranyakashipu, so demoniac, na gusto niyang vanquish si Krishna, nakipaglaban siya kay Lord Nrsimhadev. Pero yung anak niya, yung pure devotee, si Prahlad Maharaj, he was liberated. Text number 36. Otherwise, without being inspired by Lord Krishna, how is it that you have voluntarily appeared here, though you are moving incognito to the common man and are not visible to us who are on the verge of death? So, si Pariksit Maharaj is also, much more importantly, is glorifying Krishna's arrangement. So we must see, sometimes we don't see, but we must always see yung mga moves ni Krishna, yung kamay niya, yung galamay niya sa paligid natin. Just like playing chess, diba? Many moves ahead. Alam niyo yung mangyayari. Tayo parang we're caught into the situation. Ba't kaya nangyayari sa akin to? Nalugi na naman yung business ko. Heartbroken na naman ako. But si Krishna, alam niyo yung mga moves niya. How to arrange it. The great devotee of the Lord, just to give the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam. The great sage Sukadeva Goswami was certainly inspired by Lord Krishna to appear voluntarily before Maharaj Pariksit for teaching the Srimad Bhagavatam, for also him speaking the Srimad Bhagavatam. The spiritual master is the manifested representative of the Lord to help one achieve ultimate success. Just like Sukadeva Goswami, in the right time and in the right mood, kapag ready na yung disciple, kapag he's sincere, Krishna will send him spiritual master. Finding, looking, or surrendering to a spiritual master is not a fashion. Just for the name, tapos wala ka namang susundin sa instructions niya. Or kasi sikat yung guru, viral. Tapos di ka naman makapag-serve sa kanya kasi regionally or physically walang connection. So it's not a fashion to have a guru. Tapos biglang disappear ka na. No, having a guru is a very deep relationship. It is an eternal relationship. And one should dedicate yung time and effort para i-serve yung instructions ng guru. One who is not authorized by the Lord cannot become a spiritual master. So, one should test the guru, check the guru, and one should check the disciple. Ito ang ganda na sabi ni Sri Prabhupada. As soon as the Lord finds that a particular soul is very eager to go back to Godhead, the Lord at once sends his bona fide representative in the form of his spiritual master. The conclusion is that to get assistance and help from a bona fide spiritual master means to receive the direct help of the Lord himself. So if one is very sincere, Krishna will send him the spiritual master. And if he serves the spiritual master, he pleases the spiritual master, Krishna is pleased. One could give Krishna to him easily. So we should know our intention in having a spiritual master, our intention in talking to him, and much more our intention in serving him. One should be on that position. Text number 37. You are the spiritual master of great saints and devotees. I am therefore begging you to show the way of perfection for all persons and especially for one who is about to die. So bumalik yung dalawang question niya. Yung way, yung duty ng tao while living, to have the perfection, and yung way, duty ng tao when he is about to die. Unless one is perfectly anxious to inquire about the way of perfection, there is no necessity of approaching a spiritual master, because one should always ask the spiritual master on the path of self-realization, devotional service, not just for any fashion. So we should be eagerly, anxiously inquiring down. A spiritual master is not a kind of decoration for a householder. Para lang magkaroon ng spiritual name. So, hindi ganun yun. It's not that cheap. The connection is there. Just like what Jesus Christ did, he accepted a lot of disciples. He neutralized all their sins, got their sins. Not of the whole world, but the disciple. The disciple should do it to others. Of course, Jesus Christ is so merciful, he wants all the sins of the whole world to be taken to him. But yeah, generally, by scriptural junctions, the spiritual master takes the sin of the disciple. But the disciple should not repeat that sins anymore, because you are a clean slate already. So yes, binanggit dito, the disciple should inquire eagerly about spiritual life. And the pseudo-spiritual master should not flatter the disciple. That's for what? Having a disciple. It's not a flattery relationship. It is very true one could receive the flower in the form of love ng guru, or the thunderbolt, yung love in the form of a thunderbolt. Both of it you will receive from the guru. It is not just to gratify your senses, but basically, regionally, to elevate ourselves, to bring us closer to Krishna. Text number 38. Please let me know what man should hear, chant, remember, and worship, and also what he should not do. Please explain all this to me. What to do and not to do, the rules and regulation. So that's why when one receives the spiritual master, he will vow to chant 16 rounds and also to follow the 4 regulatory principles, to never leave ISKCON, and much more, to read Srila Prabhupada books every day. So, importante sa mga vows yun. Those are additions, pero ito yung vow for one to be able to be steady in the practice. Text number 39. O powerful Brahmana, it is said that you hardly stay in the houses of men long enough to milk a cow. Milking a cow will just take few minutes. And even the poorest nga daw sa time nila have minimum of 10 cows. So they always give something to the mendicants. They give in charity. Much more sa mga saintly person. That's how short they stay in different places. So that's why when we meet saintly person, we must take advantage to hear, have some question, ask, inquire. Not just talk about petty things. Of course, it should be there. Talking about how are you, how's your wife, how's your business. Kasama yun sa umpisa, in building the relationship. Even Sanatan Goswami is doing that. Pero never forget yung main topic, which is Krishna consciousness. There will be intros, diba? To build up, to set the scene. Pero yung main topic, we should not forget. The inquiry, we should not forget. But if these saintly persons, just like Sukadev Goswami, knows for the greater benefit of all people, for the future generation, he stayed 7 days, more than 7 days, with Sukadev Goswami to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam. So, even Lord Chaitanya spent time with Rupa and Sanatan Goswami to instruct them. Lord Krishna even spent time to instruct Arjuna and a lot of people. If there are disciples or devotees who are really sincere, this saintly person will spend time to pass it down to them. So, to hold them much more longer. One should be in a proper mood, good inquiries and all. Sri Suta Goswami said, bumalik dun sa kwentuhan sa Naimi Saranya, kasi siya nagkakwento si Suta Goswami. Sri Suta Goswami said, the king thus spoke and questioned the sage using sweet language. Then the great and powerful personality, the son of Vyasadeva, who knew the principles of religion, began to reply. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the first canto, 19th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Appearance of Sukadev Goswami. End of the first canto. So we are approaching second canto now. Wow. Sakto, 99 episode for the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And we will hear yung mga words ni Srila Sukadeva Goswami in this Srimad Bhagavatam. And again, if you don't have the book, dami ko markers, no? The book Srimad Bhagavatam, let me know. You could read it online, or much more, you could read yung actual book. It's an investment, much more than your television in your houses, because this is your view on the spiritual world. This is your connection to the spiritual world, aside from the actual illustration, the words of Krishna. And this is not just pen and ink. You put it in your home, just like what we are talking about. Sukadeva Goswami, saintly person, it sanctifies our house, the people living there, purifies us just by their presence. So yes, Srimad Bhagavatam and its Chaitanya Charitamrita are very important to have in your places, in your homes. So let me know. So, importante yon. And please continue to chant your rounds. Again, tonight we will have the part 2 na meditation, and we will go deeper, discussing the 10 offenses against the holy name and the 6 Shastakam. And also, Tuesday evening, 7 o'clock, we will have the Bhagavad Gita recitation together with His Holiness Giridhari Swami Maharaj. Wednesday, we will have the Kirtan Mellows, Kirtan meditation session natin with Radhanath Prabhu. And Thursday and Friday would be with His Grace Sridham Prabhu and His Grace Mathuranath Prabhu. So the poster and invitation will be posted in our group chat today. So save your time, save the dates. And yeah, we will have a spiritual sandwich, start and end the day spiritually. Maraming salamat. Grantaraj, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Sukadeva Goswami ki jai. Maharaj Pariksit ki jai. All glories to you, assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees, and all glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Moksha Lakshmi Mataji, Chandrika. Back to Rolly, back to McCoy, Oliver, Paolo, Jonah, Riza, those who are watching in our Facebook Live. Madhuri Mataji, Rajanath Prabhu from Cebu, Harvey Lopez, I forget his spiritual name, Navadu Chandra, Shama Sundar, and others. And those who will watch our recordings sa YouTube channel natin, tuloy-tuloy yan, 100 episode, and sa Facebook Live, and soon, if the internet permits, we will upload it in our Spotify. Please be safe, everyone. Thank you very much. See you tonight, 7 o'clock, same room, same time. Same room, evening time. Bye-bye.